A little quick intro. Hey, everybody. It's Monday. Throw that guitar down. How you doing? How was your weekend, huh? Hope you guys had a great weekend. I know that a lot of crazy stuff has happened this weekend. I'd love to talk about it. And with me today, I'm really excited to announce it's Chandler Crump. Welcome to the show, Chandler.
Had to mute myself
go.
real quick. What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? I'm doing great.
Oh, man. Chandler, it is a pleasure to have you on my show. You are a spectacular young man. I had the pleasure to meet at the Walkaway event in Philadelphia, which you did a speech, right?
Yeah, spoke at the event. It was a great event. It was, I believe, it was in August, right? They got me up there for that. Philadelphia is a beautiful city. Of course, they had all the mask mandates, so it was a very big culture shock because I'm originally from Georgia, which is a very free state when it comes to all those mask mandates and all that stuff. So it was a big culture shock, of course, to take a flight and have to wear a mask on the flight. And then I had a run-in with police officers who actually were like, put the mask on. I was like, what? It was a big thing, but being up in Philadelphia was great no matter what, because we were right in the center of it all, which is a really historical place in our nation. And it was really nice to be able to speak to all the people there and just sort of, feel the pride, feel the history and the respect of liberty and the Constitution in that city.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. For those who don't know, we both it was basically set up right in front of Independence Hall, which of course is where they wrote the Declaration of Independence. And it was definitely incredible. So you're 16 now, correct?
Yeah, I turned 16 just last month.
Man, so you just turned 16. You're speaking at walkaway rallies. You're probably the youngest political person I know. And I don't know, I mean, I'm still learning the political realm, but you're quite outspoken. Like, how did you get into politics in the first place?
Yeah, so I've always had a sort of deep-seated interest in politics. I'd always listen to the news. It would always be running in the living room of my house because my family was always very interested in just sort of hearing everything that was going on. We always try to stay as connected as possible. So those values really seeped into me. But it really only started in the presidential election of 2016. So in 2015, Herman Cain actually came by into my city. And so my family and I went to visit him. And this was during his presidential, or no, not Herman Cain. No, I'm mixing up. Oh,
Ben Carson?
I'm sorry. Yes, Ben Carson. I can't believe I mixed. No, I'm thinking of Herman Cain because I just saw him on Twitter, but it was Ben Carson. Sorry, that was a bad flub. But it was Ben Carson. He came by during that presidential run, and we got some books signed by him, and it was great to meet somebody and sort of look up to him and see, well, dang, he's running for something. He can do it. Who else can? And so, of course, then later on we saw Trump running, and I did not like Trump. I thought he was crazy because I really believed and sort of sold into what the media said. But then after he won, and this was after he won, I was like, how can somebody who the media had portrayed as so crazy actually win the election? So I did some more research into President Trump and found out all the lies that the media sold me. And I was like, dang, I was young then. I was like 12 or 13 at the time. And I was like, dang, the media was able to sell me all these things. I can't trust the media anymore. And from then on, I started doing all my own research. And I believe in 2017 or so, I fully came out as a Trump supporter and as a conservative once I started to learn more and more about what that meant. But then 2017 and 2016 was really only the beginning for it. 2018 was where it really started. Of course, I know you weren't really plugged in, but 2018 was one of the biggest years, honestly, in a lot of history. Kanye West, of course, came out. He said, I love the way Candace Owens thinks. And Candace Owens used that platform to start a whole entire movement about, Black people becoming free from the Democratic mindset, becoming free from the sort of idea that if you're Black, you have to be a Democrat. Kanye West sort of helped sow that entire movement. She started working with some organizations, and then she launched Blexit. And then in that same year, Brandon Strauch started Walk Away. There was just all these big movements that started. And the culmination of that was, for me, YBLS 2018, which was an event in Washington, D.C. that I attended. And they had enough connections that they were actually able to get us to go and meet President Trump in the White House. So
you've met President Trump.
Oh, a few times, but that was the first time.
A few times. Awesome rightful flex there, I gotta say.
Yes. I don't like to flex it too often, but it's very important to speak about because so I was standing there as a 14-year-old in the East Room of the White House with President Trump speaking to me and 400 other young Black leaders. And at that moment, I was like, dang, I can really do something. So that entire weekend, it was a very powerful weekend with YBLS, and then Walk Away had a march that same weekend, which was really great to see as well. And at that moment, or after that event, in fact, I remember we were driving home from the event. I was sitting in the car and I was like, if they can do it, they got 400 young black leaders into the White House in front of our president, Candace Owens, and all these other speakers and organizers who were able to make all these things happen can do it, then what's stopping me? I realized at that moment that I didn't have to wait until I was 20 or 30 years old to make my debut into politics. I could do it right now because it doesn't matter how old you are. All that matters is what you're able to do, what you're able to inspire in the movement, what you're able to think about and truly make into action, turn your words into action and really do something. And so that's when I started my Twitter account and started, getting out there. And then it just started to grow from there. And that's kind of how I got to where I am now. But I think it's very important to mention that starting story to show to anybody that it's possible. No matter how old you are, you can do it.
That is amazing. Now, I don't normally do this mid-interview, Chandler, but this is important. I'm going to spin the UFO for you. This is I don't know if you know much about my show, but I spin the UFO for specific reasons, okay? And that was amazing. I've been saying for a long time about how we need younger people into government because government makes the rules for life. Like that's just kind of how it works. It's almost like the people in government want to keep everyone out so that they can pick and choose who they want to be in control. And that is ridiculous to me, So when I see someone like you, it is inspiring to know that there is hope in the younger generations. What you just said, you couldn't have said it better. I couldn't have said it better. Like that is what we need. We need people exactly like you realizing I don't need to wait. And in fact, most people don't even wait. They're like, other people are going to do it. I have enough stuff on my plate, which most of the time is true. But the fact remains, we are all affected by what the politicians are doing. So if you turn a blind eye, that's you just letting them make the rules for you. Everyone should be a part of the conversation, and especially like what you're saying. I tagged you on Twitter. I don't know if you saw the post, but I did hashtag future president. I'm calling you out a little bit, all right? But if you become president one day, I'm going to be like, yeah, I called that.
I think a lot of people will say they called that because I've had people saying that about me since before I even stepped into politics. I remember it was like April 2018, right after Kanye West retweeted Candace Owens, and I was like, dang, I really like this. I was talking to my friends, and then I believe I was out somewhere, and I was just talking to them, and this adult came up to me and it was like, I hear what you're talking about, and I agree with you. I don't know much about you. I don't know who you are. You don't know who I am, but I feel like you're going to be a future president someday. And I was like, thank you so much. This was before I even stepped into politics, was even a figure. It was just like a random event. I wasn't even, it was a really random thing where someone came up to me and just said that to me. And I was just like, that's interesting.
Wow. Yeah, you can do it. It's funny that, of course, when Kanye came out and, endorsed, well, I guess endorse is a weird
Promoted.
choice. He promoted Candace Owens, Candace Owens, what a boss.
Yes.
But it's interesting. Of course, they started spinning him in the worst light ever. He was having emotional breakdowns. Oh my gosh, Kanye West. It's like, no, you're just afraid of his message. And that actually brings up what happened this weekend, which I kind of mentioned earlier. And I want to talk about it, and I want to hear what your thoughts on this. So for those who don't know, Philip Anderson held a free speech rally in front of the Twitter headquarters in San Francisco.
Yes.
Now, Antifa basically showed up and were just throwing stuff at him, throwing bottles, throwing eggs while he was trying to get set up. He by himself went across the crowd to help someone get through to help and be able to get to the rally. And someone came up and cold clocked him, just a cheap shot from the side, left field, hit him in the face again. I found pictures. They were wearing carbon gloves, knocked out his 2 front teeth. So this is terrible. Now, I actually I started a GoFundMe for him, and I raised $28,000. And I just want to take a second to just say thank you to everyone out there who helped. I was speaking with Philip about 2 hours ago, talked to him, talked to his father. They're just so grateful for everyone that has helped him. So thank you so much for helping. I've passed it over officially to Philip, so he is going to be able to get his teeth fixed. But what's crazy is Instagram banned him. Facebook banned him yesterday. Woke up this morning, Twitter banned him. They're taking these people who break the narrative and are getting rid of them. Like Kanye, you can't get rid of Kanye, but they can spin it as though he's having mental health issues, mental whatever breakdowns, when in reality, he seems like he's an actual smart man. You know, clearly he knows what he's doing musically. He knows what he's doing in the business of music, and you know, he's a success. But
Kanye said in a song
go
back
ahead.
in 2011, "Assassinate my character," and that's exactly what they've done.
Yep, exactly.
And to speak a little bit more on Philip, I believe I actually met Philip back in July of 2019. There was a similar free speech event in Washington, D.C., where Antifa completely surrounded us, and we had to rely on the D.C. police to maintain that perimeter. But they were crazy. They were willing to, if they could have, rushed the stage and attacked us all. And I'm sure something like this could have happened many times since then. You have to commend the police when they do their jobs in certain cities for their work, and that's why we have to back the blue. But this is really sad thing we're seeing right here. I actually believe I know the organization that was behind this same rally in front of Twitter headquarters in San Francisco. I'm really proud of them. They've done some amazing work. They've had a few events since then, but or since that event back in DC. But it's really sad to see what Antifa, big tech, and these left-wing organizations and people will do to silence you. They'll knock your front teeth out, which I believe actually makes it harder for you to speak, literally. And then, of course, they'll take you off of social media. What did this guy do to deserve it? Like, he gets his two front teeth knocked out, and he can't even speak on social media about it. Is there something else? Is there an actual explanation, or do they realize that him serving his two front teeth, serving as the martyrs as they are, will be enough that they have to silence it, or they won't get what they want? Because it's obvious that these social media companies want everything they can do to get President Trump and as many red people, as many Republicans out of office as they can. And taking that man off of social media and preventing his story from getting out there. And I'm sure GoFundMe, if they had heard about it or if it had gotten big enough, would have suspended your campaign as well. They'll do anything they can to prevent a story like that from getting out, but they can't fight. They can't kill everybody. They can't suspend you all. The word of mouth got it out. I heard about the story. You heard about the story. I'm sure many people in the comment section that didn't know about it now are now hearing it from our mouths, because we're still spreading that story. It doesn't matter. You can't squash every single cockroach that is spreading the truth that you don't like. The truth doesn't serve your narrative, but we're out here spreading it anyways, because it is what's happening, and it is a movement that we're fighting against every single day. If we want to make sure that there still aren't people that still aren't ideals, as Joe Biden would say, knocking people's teeth out, then we need to vote this November, and we need to keep that fight going each and every month, each and every year, because this is a fight that's going to last a lifetime. And
I think
go ahead. His teeth getting knocked out is only a sign for what it is. If an idea can knock somebody's teeth out, then I think we need to fight with our own ideas as well.
Yeah, well, that's a bold statement right there, because that could be, if you look at what
misconstrued
Joe Biden's idea is right now, and honestly, that might be part of the reason why he was banned, because in the hospital, he's sitting there holding one of his teeth. His other tooth is still hanging there. He's in a hospital gown in the hospital bed. He had a video out addressing Joe Biden directly, saying, "Hey, Joe Biden, like you said Antifa's an idea. Like, what about this? This is my tooth. Like, look, my front teeth are gone. I got punched, because Antifa was calling me. I mean, they were calling him some serious names, that it's crazy how they're the ones saying everyone else is racist when they're the ones literally screaming racial slurs at Philip while he's trying to have a free speech rally, not a racist rally, which they for some reason twisted it into. That's what they're yelling at him, and it's ridiculous. So he's calling out Joe Biden like, "Hey, you still think it's an idea, huh? What about that?" And that video was going viral. I shared it. It's gone. I still have my tweets, but because Philip's account was gone now, you can't see any of these videos because they were pretty damning. I mean, look what's coming up in what is it, 16 days or something like that? Oh, right, a presidential election. So right now, this is the most key time right now. If something that drastic came out and everyone saw that, that's why they need to get rid of him. It's almost like they don't even care what the consequences are, because they can worry about it later. It's like asking someone for forgiveness instead of permission, which is, it's terrible. It's like, no, you're going to get in worse trouble. People are seeing this. Like you said, it's the internet. You can't stop us from talking about this kind of stuff. This information is out there. It's getting around. That's why mainstream media is stressing out and freaking out so much, because they don't have the control that they used to have.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane.
I posted a tweet today, and it's something along the lines of Generation Z is being taught that free speech shouldn't be a thing and that we should be censoring hate speech. Now, I don't care about hate speech. Of course, some of it can actually be hateful, but censoring hate speech is where things start to really tear down for this nation. We were founded on a few very simple and very structurally sound ideas. The Constitution and the Bill of Rights, the First, Second Amendments, all those amendments that really stand for things that are important. But the First Amendment each and every day is being eroded within our culture. So now, of course, this is going to be funny. I know a lot of the younger viewers will know about this, but PlayStation is now going to be reviewing your party chat files. And if you say anything that they don't deem as appropriate, they will be banning your account for it. Now, of course, Generation Z can make as many jokes about that as they like, but you have to realize right now, and I'm talking to all the younger people out there, even if you're not even Generation Z, but you're a millennial and you like to take part in these finer things in life, such as a PlayStation game chat, you have to realize now that your rights are being restricted and revoked within the culture and within your institutions day in and day out. Them reviewing your party chats, sure, it may start as only on the PlayStation, but soon enough, they'll be reviewing your phone calls. They'll be reviewing your texts. They'll be reviewing everything you say on every single service. And if you don't match up what they want you to say, then they will be restricting you from that service or kicking you out. Each and every day, we're forming a deeper and deeper network within each other, but we're also forming a deeper network of restriction. We're restricting you for having a thought. We're restricting you for saying something that we didn't quite say was appropriate. If you say something that we don't want you to say, you're not allowed to stay on the platform anymore. That's a very dangerous place we're at in our country right now. And if we don't turn back, if we don't fight against that, it's not going to be very good for our future. I'll tell you that. Because
the PlayStation thing actually is they aren't actually reviewing. If say you and I joined in a party chat, and we were just chatting, they can't go look at it. Anybody who is in the party can send the party chat to PlayStation. So if someone enters the party who you don't know, who hears something they don't like, they can then send to PlayStation, like almost like a report. Like, I'm going to report this chat and report that person. It's just like another addition of reporting, which then they can, because they were saying something about how whenever you enter a party chat, you're acknowledging that PlayStation can, because it's on their network, you're acknowledging like, okay, whatever you say in this chat goes onto our network and then to the next person over. So I guess it's not necessarily like they can review it, but it doesn't matter. There's always going to be that one person who thinks that and hate speech is a perspective, isn't it?
Yes.
Like, it's for hate speech for one person isn't hate speech for another person. And whatever happened to, okay, that one person over there is hateful, and every other person in the room goes, you're an a-hole, and then that person suddenly loses all their power. It's like they're giving hate power by saying we need to ban it, we need to get rid of it, they're so powerful. And it's like, no, we have to, it's almost like bringing public shaming back kind of thing. It's like there's not even public shaming, they're just getting rid of it, and that's not making it any better.
Yeah, when you acknowledge their power, that's when it becomes true.
Correct. Exactly. Just got UFO's beeping over here. Get rid of that. Stop beeping, UFO. It's mad at me for some reason. There we go. Okay.
Is it like a combination Bluetooth speaker? It sounds like a.
It is. It's actually
a Bluetooth
speaker, but it keeps making sounds. Are you gonna stop?
Bluetooth might be glitching out on it.
Yeah, I think I might actually need to charge the UFO for the first time ever. That's okay. Anyway, so another thing that I want to talk about is Black Lives Matter. Okay. Philip has been very open about talking about how Black Lives Matter it's demeaning to him because he's a prominent Black man in America, and you're a young Black man in America, and obviously I'm not. So I've been told both I'm not allowed to speak because I'm not Black, I need to speak because I'm not Black, and silence is violence, and also if I speak up, then I'm also part of the problem. It's like, all from the same group of people. Black Lives Matter, so, and it's from friends of mine, it's from people that don't like me at all. I get it from all different people, and it's like, I truly believe everyone needs to be part of the conversation because everyone's the same. Skin color is ridiculous, and that's something Philip's been saying. And I just want to hear what you're a young man. How do you feel about it? What is your opinion on Black Lives Matter?
I don't need some cheap organization to tell me that my life matters. If I want my life to matter, I make something of it. I don't need you to go out there marching in the streets and burning buildings down and attacking police officers, pouring water on them or burning their cars down to tell me that my life matters. And the very idea of that is more demeaning than anything that any of these police officers or any of these other people that Black Lives Matter protests has ever done. Of course, there is definitely a problem out there, and I do believe that Black Lives Matter, but I also believe that all lives matter, and I don't believe that we need an organization to have all these ideas that we need to break the Black nuclear family, among other things. It's quite, the organization itself is quite antithetical to its mission, because it's saying Black Lives Matter, but then it wants to break the nuclear family, which would make these Black lives less good. I mean, within the platform, it literally says we want the Black mothers to parent in private. So we don't trust our Black fathers to raise our own children. We've seen a generation of Black children raised mostly without their fathers. I wonder who did that. Joe Biden and the Democrat Party, and LBJ with his Great Society Act. All these things that added up from the Democrats that ruined a lot of Black lives in the past. And now we have an organization like Black Lives Matter, which is trying to make all these different changes now and reinstitute all the changes they made before, so that the Black lives can say matter, but actually matter less and less, because we're making less and less of them. When we don't have fathers, we are able to achieve less because we aren't raised with the good foundation that a Black mother and a Black father, or a mother and a father, period, supply to a child. When you aren't able to parent your child the correct way, your child is simply not going to be able to do what it does. Look at me. I'm not trying to be a shining beacon example. I'm not trying to be egotistical here, but I was raised with two parents. If you're looking at me right now and you say, I want my kid to be just like that, then make sure you stay with whoever you make that kid with. That's the most important thing.
Denzel Washington said, if you take the father figure out of the home, the kids will seek a father figure elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's just human beings. We're two parents. They teach two different types of things. Now, I'm not trying to get into the a man and a woman as parents, but two parents is the key. Like, there's been studies on this. It doesn't matter what kind of parents are. If there's two parents, there tends to be two different type of it's a love thing. It's you get a good balance of things, and of course, many people will argue like traditional families are better, but it doesn't matter. It's the nuclear family works. It works. Your kid has validation. They know they are worth love. They don't have to seek it elsewhere. That's why we see this massive generation of people that feel they need to go out and get love and feel vindicated elsewhere, or on the internet, or or feeling like they can't, and they have to hide themselves because they don't even believe that they can, that they're worthy of things. And then, of course, start blaming things for it, blaming others for that. And instead of looking at themselves or what society has basically built for them, which is not the best. I mean, they're trying to break down the nuclear family, and that is ridiculous. I agree. It's crazy.
I think in my point, I got a little bit too much about families, but it is very important that we recognize what Black Lives Matter is really doing to our culture. It is instilling this idea that if you're not out marching in the streets, or if you're not posting the Black squares on your Instagram, if you're a Black person, you simply aren't Black anymore. You aren't standing for those things. I've had so many people with the hashtag BLM in their bio. They may also have hashtag ACAB, which is they're tagging me on Instagram, tagging me on Twitter, and saying because I support Trump and I don't exactly follow the organization that is Black Lives Matter, that I'm all these terrible names, which I'm not going to say because I don't want your channel to be endangered. But they call me all these terrible slurs, these racial slurs, and they say I'm not Black anymore. They say Joe Biden was right when I say you ain't Black. And so I heard
offending. Did that offend you when he said that?
No. Well, it was a little bit offensive because it's like, you ain't Black. But I also know that that's exactly what we should be expecting from Joe Biden. When somebody says everything you expect them to say, believe it, believe them for what they are. Joe Biden has said so many things in the past. Meanwhile, in comparison to Trump, he makes Trump look like an angel. And I'm not saying Trump's an angel, but when you look at him in comparison to Biden, I can see the halo forming over his head already. But in all honesty, if you look at the things that Joe Biden has said and the things that Joe Biden has done in the past, I don't need anything more than that. You Ain't Black was only the cherry on top of the pounds and pounds of cake he has beneath the frosting. It was
Good point.
all his things that he's done is just like crazy. So you look at these Black Lives Matter people that are out in their bios saying all these terrible things to me. I believe them for what they are. They call themselves anti-racist. Well, look at Antifa. They're anti-fascist, and yet look at all the things they do. So to all the anti-racists out there, might have to follow the same logic on that one.
Boom. I see Black Lives Matter, and it's almost like they're trying to convince the world that white people see them as lesser. And it's like, that's not the way it is. You'll never, ever convince me that I think anyone's lesser than me. That's just not the case. I think everyone's equal, no matter what. Everyone's equal, period. So that statement, it's like they believe in their core that most people believe that it isn't real. Like there is some sort of superiority complex going around outside of the black race, and it's like we're one race, the human race. So this superiority thing that you're trying to convince everyone, that's on you. You guys are right. They're the ones that believe it. And it's like, I've never known supremacists my entire life. I've lived in New York, I lived in Chicago, I lived in Florida, I've lived in LA, I've lived all over the place. I lived in Europe for a while. I've lived in many different places. I've been a traveler, and I have yet to ever meet. Now people will of course argue, well, you're white, Adam, and you never had to deal with that. It's like, okay. And Go ahead. What?
My earliest racist experiences all started really after I got into politics. From those first 14 or so years of my life as a black person in America, I had experienced next to no racism. Of course, that may just be the bubble I live in, but I live in Georgia, which is, I'm sure, regarded by many people as one of the more racist states in our nation. I didn't experience anything like that. I had not experienced much racism, if any at all. But the second I got into politics and came out as a black Trump supporter, oh, you do not know the names. I was literally called the N-word with hard R by a white liberal before.
Wow. Seriously?
Yes. White liberals are some of the most racist people in America. Not even a joke. And I should maybe be more clear. It's not the Tim Pool kind of white liberals, but more like the I don't even have an example for them. Their names aren't worth repeating, but it's just like those
like
kinds of white liberals.
The extreme left liberals, the big L liberal, I guess that's the term they keep using. Jeez.
The big blue L liberal, that kind of liberal. No, those are the ones that are seriously out there. And the kinds of things they say to me just make me question who raised these people. And you look at their parents are generally sensible people, or more the hands-off parents, or either they're extremely hands-off or extremely hands-on. There's no in between if you raise a child that literally says those kinds of things. And then the one constant is that they all went to a very liberal college. They had the race studies, gender studies, all those classes that really just destroy your children's minds. They break down their minds, and then they piece them back together using that super glue with those liberal media ideas that seep into their brain after they rebuild it, reprogram your kid. They go out there, the NPC meme. It's just like that with the gray face, the piercings all over. That's the kind of thing. That is what happens when you send your kid off to a liberal Ivy League college. They come out and they start calling black people the N-word because they support the president. It's the saddest thing.
And not only he's actually doing really like amazing things for the minorities in this country. Like they keep calling him a racist, but he's literally fighting for the minorities in this country. He's doing a lot for all the different minority communities, especially the black community. He's pumping money into colleges. He's helping start businesses, minority owned businesses, especially black businesses. Like look into his policies. Like you said it yourself. You were a young teenager and you started looking into his policies, and you could see it. That's it. Yeah. You open your eyes a little bit and you can see that he's actually a fairly decent president. No, he's a good president. Not even fairly decent. He's a solid president.
The best president in my lifetime. I'll tell you that much. I haven't lived nearly as long as many other people have, but at the very least, the best president in my lifetime. I was born in 2004, so that's Bush, Obama, better than all of us. It's only like three presidents, only three presidents to compare it with. No, it's funny that President Obama, who was the first black president, and I've used that loosely because I don't know, some people disagree on that. I'll give it to him, at least give him something. But the first black president didn't do nearly as much as President Trump has done. and and Trump only had like 3 or so years, and if you really start to add it up, 4 years now. He's done more for more for Black people and pretty much most of the races in this country than any other president. And he says this a lot of times. He's done more for Black people since Abraham Lincoln, or at the very least, more for Black people since Kennedy, or at least Kennedy's ideas, Kennedy's plans that he put into motion, or that were put into motion after his death. He's done more than any of those other presidents, especially Democrats. I think he's done more than any Democrat ever has even considered doing. And I use that very strongly. Democrats have never actually really done anything for Black people if they couldn't get anything out of it for themselves. You look at all the if you look at all the initiatives that they've been championing, at least before they stopped caring about Black people in terms of voting, because now they care about getting those illegal immigrants to vote. They care about emboldening the LGBT vote. They care about trying to take back suburban women. All those different things they're trying to work on now. But back when they used to care about the Black vote, back in the 20th century, the things that they would institute, like I said before, the Great Society Act, the emboldening and huge support of Planned Parenthood, all those different things, so that they could make that race smaller, so that those that wouldn't fall into the line wouldn't be born in the first place, and those that were born, they could use all those, the public schools, all the different things that they would do using the Great Society Act, taking your father out of the home, and then eventually throwing you in prison for some sort of drug crime that Kamala would then smoke behind your back after she laughed as you were driven off to the prison. Yeah, that's what she would do. Those kinds of things. You can see that they just did not care about Black people. And President Trump has made such a very big difference. He's done more in 47 months for Black people than Biden has done in 47 years. And if you look at Biden's past, oh Lord, he's in the negatives. Trump is, his score is at like 100. Joe Biden's score for Black people is like negative 2,000 at the very least, in terms of if you could count up all the good things he's done. It would be in the negatives. It would be in the negatives because Joe Biden has never truly done anything good for the people of my race. In fact, he's done so many bad things that it would be difficult to count it all.
Yep. And actually, it's even worse. It's 48 years as of, I think, October 11th or something. So it's, Biden, I'm talking to you. 48 years in government, and all you've done is make life worse for the minorities in this country. And not even minorities, everybody. He's basically, what we're finding out through these emails. And are you paying attention to this whole Hunter Biden email thing?
Oh yeah, of course. No, I'm plugged into it all. Every single I have something that alerts me every time a new Hunter Biden story comes out. I just read it. Really? I cannot believe it. No.
It's crazy. He's been denying it for months. No. And now everyone's like, hey, you've been denying it for months. What's the deal? And he's like, I knew you were going to ask me that. You're just the worst. And then hustles away from the cameras. It's like, Joe Biden, you got it. Do you know that they actually took off, they changed the last debate? They had foreign affairs as a whole segment.
Yes, I heard about that. They took it off after Hunter
got
Biden,
rid of it.
All these emails. No, they can't have that. It's these debates are not debates. They're just rallies for Biden with Trump there on the side. He's like, they treat Trump like he's a rowdy person in the crowd. How Trump back in the 2015, 2016 campaign days, he did say, get him out of there. The security guards are the campaign, are the debate moderators. They're like, Mr. President, please, Mr. President, please calm down. And it's like, these aren't debates at this point. They really are not.
They're not, man. They're just lobbing up things to Biden. He's just like, I can hit a slow hit. Yeah. Softball. And Trump's like, look, I don't care. Look, I'm going to slam it home. I'm going to be my bold person. I mean, I thought he won the first debate. Did you watch the first debate?
Oh yeah, no, I watched. I actually live reacted to it on my YouTube channel.
Oh, nice. Right on. Speaking of which, if you'd like to check out his YouTube channel and his Twitter account, I have them in the description below. You can click on his Twitter and his YouTube. You can go follow him. This is Chandler Crump. If you have been just joining us, it's fantastic to finally have you. We actually talked about you being on the show when we did the walkaway campaign.
Yeah, no, I was going to try and wait and see if I could come up to Philadelphia again. But what I think I can do is I can come on this time digitally. And then in the future, next time I'm up in Philadelphia or wherever you are, I'm not sure if you're still in Philadelphia or anywhere near there. But anytime I'm up in that area or wherever you are, to come out there up with you.
Oh, you are always welcome to come join me in my studio. I do have a guest spot here. That's where Bryson went and joined me a couple weeks back. And you were on Bryson's video. And wait, you just told me this. You actually spit some words on one of his songs. What song is that?
So I've been on a couple of his songs, but the one that's on the
Oh,
album is Pro Life, Pro God, Pro Trump. So if you guys, I'm sure if you're watching Adam's channel, you know Bryson Gray. He's a very amazing rapper for our president. He went viral last year for the MAGA challenge. And then a couple months after that, he released an album called MAGA Ain't Got No Color. It was an amazing album. It got #2 on the charts. He beat out Eminem for a good while. In fact, I think
nice.
the album's still beating Eminem because he dropped this in February. Eminem dropped an album, and after a couple days, Bryson's album got above Eminem. Like Eminem was #3, Bryson was #2 on the rap charts
Huge.
in America. Actually, no, worldwide. The worldwide
Wow.
rap charts, Bryson was nearly top of the charts, #2. So it was amazing. I'm on track #5, and I'm on the second part of the song. And so, yeah. And that's kind of the start of something big with this whole cultural take back the movement, take back the culture, take back rap music, of course. So there's a lot of people coming out with rap albums now for our president, people dropping songs. We have Bryson, of course. We have Joel Patrick. We have DVS 7.0. And there's plenty of other people, not even exclusively on rap, but there's Ricky Rebel, David Films. There's a few other people out there that are making content for the conservative side, because it's clear that at this point, the liberals have 100% taken over culture, so much so that if you are a conservative, you are blacklisted from everything. If you're a conservative, you can't be on a song with Jay-Z. Even if you're one of the best rappers alive, you can't be on a song with Jay-Z. You can't make a movie with Tom Cruise. You can't be in that documentary. You're not invited to the Grammys because you're going to wear that MAGA dress. No, you can't do that. So at this point, it's time we have to start making our own culture and start building ourselves up from the ground. So that's why we have our own art. We're making our own music. We're making our own movies. We're out here doing everything, because at this point, the divide in this nation is so strong and there's nothing that can bring us back together. So we have to start building our own rival city so that maybe one day in the future we can start to come together again. But we have to have a foundation if we ever want to have hope for our future. This whole movement is starting, and I'm getting in it as well. So, I just mentioned as well that I'm on that song, and then I've got a few other projects coming up very soon. I'm going to be working with a lot of artists. There's a lot of fantastic projects that I'm looking forward to. I'm writing every day, recorded a lot of raps, and I'm really looking forward to putting out there. In fact, I'll be putting one out really soon. So keep an eye on that on my Twitter and on my YouTube, and I'm really looking forward to it. So it's a whole new movement that we're all getting in on, and I'm proud to finally get in on it as well.
That's awesome. And you're just gonna go as Chandler Crump, or do you have like a, a name?
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna be going in as Chandler Crump because I believe one of the first lyrics that I rapped was "I'm not a rapper, but I'll give it a try," and that was on the MAGA challenge. I made my own MAGA challenge last year,
Nice.
and though I do consider myself a rapper now, I will still be staying with Chandler Crump because I think it's important to brand myself under my name, especially for those rap songs. I don't need a fancy name for it. Maybe if I start making other kinds of music that I don't necessarily want connected to politics, I'll use a separate name. But for this political music that I'll be making, and not necessarily 100% political, just sort of, I'll be talking about culture as well. And some of my other songs, it won't 100% be about Trump. In fact, on Pro Life, Pro God, Pro Trump, one of the songs or one of the lyrics I said was, when Trump is gone, our sun still shines. And I think that's very important. So even after Trump, I'm sure politics will start to die down a bit in culture, and politics involvements in culture will start to be rolled back a little. Even when I start rapping a bit more about culture, I'll still be using the name Chandler Crump.
I hope not. I hope that's not the case. Because I'm finding out as I get older, I'm finding out how every single person, I don't care who you are, you need to be political at least a little bit.
Absolutely.
At least have like an understanding. Most people don't even understand politics. Like, it's taken me a full pretty much 2020 to even, I still don't understand politics as much as I would like to, probably a lot more than most, because I've been basically inundated with just political knowledge and critical conversations, with Tim, and, just doing my research every day, looking at what's actually happening, watching on the ground footage versus what the media is saying. Most people don't have time for that, and I get it. I get it. Most people are busy with life. And when you get done with your grueling job, you want to get home and just relax. Political talk is exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't blame it, but I don't want it to die off. I think Trump has been a great president, but what he has done outside of him has proven how important it is for us to be part of the conversation, because we've lost that over the 90s, the aughts. It's like we were complacent. I was born in the 80s, and I think I can also say President Trump is the best president of my lifetime. I can say that, because I've also looked at what he's done and how our country is being handled and all the things. Like, I had environmental issues with him until I realized that it was to start manufacturing here again, because we rolled back everything because we didn't have manufacturing, and no one cared about the world being ravaged on the other side of the planet as long as they got their products still, and as long as those products were cheap. It's like, come on,
Yeah, no,
So
we have the Greta Thunbergs and all the other people pointing all the fingers at us, yet they have no intentions of ever traveling to China or India to address the massive problems they have there. I mean, you look at the Ganges River, I think that thing's more polluted than anything we've seen in this planet. The amount of stuff they throw in that river, and then you can't even breathe the air in China. That's how bad it is. At least most of the days you can't walk through without a mask. That's a place where you actually do need a mask. But in all honesty, it's really sad what we see over on that side of the planet. And I'm not somebody who places environmental issues above everything. I do believe that there's a lot of things that we are blowing out of proportion when it comes to the environment. But I do believe that what they are doing on that side of the planet is screwing things up for this entire Earth. So we need to be paying more attention to that side of things more than us.
Agreed. I mean, really, it's just it's our culture in general. Like, the West, as they say. We're part of the Western culture, and we have a problem with over consuming. I'm part of that structure. I'm not trying to put blame on anyone else. I'm part of this society. I live in it. I mean, I try to be very aware of my overconsumption. I bring my own bags to the grocery store. I think that's really important. But, everyone just buys the new phone just came out, the iPhone 12. They just announced iPhone 12. It's like, man, I still have my iPhone 7. I'm happy with it. I don't need a new phone every year. They don't need to just keep one-upping it. Oh, well, what's the difference? Yeah, well, I mean, it's just this much faster, and the screen is this much better at, it's like, well, what is the point of that?
The people that follow me could know I could talk about tech all day, but to be fair, a lot of people do hold onto their phones for many years. So that is the best part. But I could talk tech all day. Don't tease me with that, or this stream will get very boring.
No, what do you mean you talk tech? What do you mean tech? Like what into tech? What part of tech are you into?
I'm into a lot of it, but especially when it comes to those iPhones and a lot of phones in general, I'm very interested and intrigued with them, and I know a lot about how they work with the differences between them. So you look at the iPhone 12, they kind of reverted back to their iPhone 5 design. They have the what's it called? The flat borders. The screen got a little bit better resolution. Processor is, as Apple does, fantastic in comparison to anything else. They're always about 2 generations ahead of anybody else that makes those processors in comparison to Qualcomm and the Exynos processors. Anything else, Apple always does better, and that's what's really great about their silicon. And then they're going to put them in the MacBooks soon too. I'm running on a MacBook right now, but the second they put those Apple processors in the MacBooks, they're going to take off, because the best thing about those ARM processors is that they are very energy efficient. And if Apple can keep cramming more and more transistors into those processors, they get amazing in terms of speed while still having amazing power efficiency, which means that your batteries will last longer while still getting comparable, if not better, performance out of your device. That's just a little tease of what I can talk about.
No, that's fine. Now, I hear what you're saying. So you're very focused on the tech part of it. But really what I was talking about was, what do you do with the tech that gets outdated really quickly? That's the stuff that, like, there needs to be some sort of middle ground. We have to figure out either a way to salvage everything that had been made, because as it stands, there's a lot of computer tech waste is a huge deal right now. There's a lot of old computer stuff. People get all new stuff. It all gets tossed away. Of course, I see a lot of people in chat that are saying Android's better, but I have a feeling.
Android is great. No, Android's great.
They said it's better. They said it's better, not great.
There's something, I think they are both good for the things that they need to do, but I'm not trying to start a whole war between the operating systems here. Apple does have some recycling processes that are good, but considering there are a lot more Android phones, and the Android, there is not a lot of recycling for Android. That is one way that Android is worse. They are not very cognizant of the environment when it comes to disposing of your old phones. And another thing that grates on Android users is that your phones degrade fast. All right, so hey, that's all I'm saying about that.
As I said, I'm still on the iPhone 7, and I'm actually
that phone came out 4 years ago.
Right. So, 4 years, huh? Yeah, I guess so. 4 years. 4 years they went from the iPhone 7 to the iPhone 12.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible.
Because they skipped 9.
Fine. Oh, did they?
Yeah. There's no iPhone 9. It went from 7, 8, and then 10, 11, and now they're on 12. So that's why the numbers have been advancing so fast.
I feel like they messed up. I like the number 9. It's underrated. I don't know.
I don't know.
What's your favorite number? Random question.
7.
Oh yeah, mine too.
Very, very typical.
Everyone always says that, but I was born on the 7th, and I'm actually incredibly lucky. No joke. I am lucky. Ask anybody that knows me personally. They're like, "Is Adam lucky?" And they're gonna be like, "He's the luckiest person I know." No joke. I am. So. And
I should be a little more honest. My favorite number is actually 37. I forgot the 3.
What? Why aren't you being honest with me? This is a real show. We only talk
Adam.
the truth here. Get off. You're off. You're out of here. Never to return. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I like 37. It pops up in my life so much, so it's like, that's cool. There's a lot of things about numerology that I've been hearing about. I don't really understand it, but I always hear a lot about the numbers. Important.
It's funny. I was born in the 3rd month. 3/7 is actually my birthday.
Whoa!
I'm telling you, I'm a lucky dude.
What's your birth year?
84.
1984. Ooh, that's yes. So 37, 1984. That's a fun
1984.
Name.
That's probably the most said year besides 2020. It's like this year. Which years have been said the most? 2020 and 1984. Those two.
And that's just because 2020 resembles the idea of 1984 to such a point that it's become somewhat of a meme, but more so somewhat of a standpoint or a statement. You look at what we've been through this year, just the amount of how much we've become more of a security state, a security world above freedom over anything. I prefer scary freedom over safe security any day. But at this point, it's just in a lot of states, especially those Democrat states, you can't walk outside without a mask, or they will beat you to a pulp and tase you for it. Or maybe if you're running into knock your dang teeth out for it. There's a lot of different things that it's not directly about that, but that's what they could do to you. So masks, social distancing, all that sort of nonsense, really, because we did all that. 15 days to stop the spread was over 200 days ago, and yet look at us now.
Oh my God. Well, and now you got Wales locking down for 2 weeks. Did you hear about this? They're basically something about Wales. You cannot leave your house for 2 weeks. Period. You're not allowed to leave your house at all. There's like a couple 100,000 people or something like that just locked in for 2 weeks. You know why? Because they had 100 new cases. That's it. 100 new cases, not deaths. Cases.
Just 100 more people with a slight cough, if even that. If you look at the city of New York and you see what COVID-19 did to that city and that the Democrat leadership did to that city, do you think your left-wing run nation could beat New York? Because New York, just isolated from America itself, is one of the biggest economies in this world, and it's bigger than a lot of these nations, population-wise, GDP-wise, economy-wise, all those different things. It'll beat you out. Do you really think your nation and your city or your province will survive what New York could not? I don't know. It's not a fantastic comparison to make. So either you allow freedom, or you follow the path of Switzerland. I mean, you look at Switzerland, they barely had any cases whatsoever, yet they refused to lock down. And now look at them. They're doing amazing. They're doing great. Their economy is doing just as fine as it was before, if not better. I have to look into it. But either way, they did amazing when it comes to COVID-19 because they didn't have to go through a whole lockdown. And yet you're going to lock down your entire, what is Wales? Is it a nation, or I'm not sure, but
I think it's a province or something in the UK.
Yeah, section of
I don't know exactly their laws or what it is. I don't know. I don't know much about what Switzerland was doing. I know Sweden didn't lock down.
Oh no, I'm mixing up Switzerland and Sweden. I don't know what Switzerland did.
You're not the first person to do that. That actually happened.
It will never be the last. No,
my wife is Swedish, so I know about how people get that confused all the time.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I'm pretty sure that Switzerland didn't lock down that much either. My uncle actually lives in Switzerland, and he's it seems like he's fine and nothing's happening there.
Yeah.
But so Sweden, they actually just smartly, mind you, defended the old people. They were like, look, the old people probably can't handle this. Let's keep them safe. No one go visit them. And that's literally all they did.
Adam.
That's it.
Adam, did you just use the word smart with me?
No,
don't ever use that word with me.
I was talking to the rest of the world. See, I looked at the camera, remember? I was like, look, I'm going to talk to you over here. And then when I look over here, I'm going to talk to everyone else.
I was quoting Trump from the debate. Did you just
That
use the
was
word smart with me? Don't
I
ever
was
use that word.
dying when he said that. I was dying. Oh my
No.
gosh. Trump
Trump was
is
absolutely
funny.
wilding in that debate. He
Dude,
had no
he is
limit.
funny. That guy is funny. He can make me laugh way more than I expected once I really started listening to him. I mean, I want to go to a Trump rally. I would love to go to a Trump rally. I hope he has Trump rallies forever, even long after the 2024 when someone else becomes president. I hope he still does Trump rallies because I want to.
Yeah.
I would just.
Trump
They're
will
like
be
concerts.
Yeah, and Trump won't be one of those presidents that just fades into the background after his. No, I think Trump's going to be bigger than our next president, if it's a Democrat or even if it's a Republican. He'll probably still maintain to be a bigger figure than anybody could ever hope to be. In all honesty.
Yep. Well, I mean, a lot of people are saying that Donald Jr., Ivanka Trump, like there's all these talks of just the next generations of Trumps becoming political because they're all very much in like Don Jr. And he's also pretty hilarious. Like it's just they know how to troll in the best way. The more I watch them, they're just hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely amazing to see what his family has been able to accomplish. And Hillary Clinton said, if you look at his family, you can know exactly how good of a job he did. And then if you compare that with Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, it's not a great look for them.
Using their logic.
Yes, using their logic, of course. You have to pivot it like that. Yeah, you guys said it. Actually, I saw that on a little video on Instagram, and I was like, that is a very fantastic point of Hillary Clinton when she said that, and compared to Joe Biden now, not so good now.
Thanks, Hillary. Thanks. This is the only time I've ever said thanks to Hillary Clinton. By the way, I just
that was one thing I stood by. I never liked Hillary Clinton.
Oh no,
yeah, no, that's the only reason why I could even not completely rule out Trump as a presidential person, because Hillary was running against him. And I think a lot of people can agree with that. Back in 2016, if you look at Hillary Clinton versus Trump, it was so undivided because people hated Hillary so much so that they were willing to take a chance on people on Trump, who a lot of people thought was crazy, including myself. So it's a lot of things like that we saw back then. And it's always such a crazy thing to compare 2016 to now, to 2020. It's a similar election in some ways, but different in so many other ways, in that Joe Biden doesn't seem to be hated nearly as much as Hillary Clinton was.
Yeah, but at the same sense, I don't know if I agree, though, because it's not hate in the same sense as Hillary. I'll agree with that. It's a different type of, it's a dislike, it's a distrust, it's a disgust. Honestly, that's where I'm at. I'm disgusted by Joe Biden about the racist things that he said in his past, the racist bills that he put forward, the straight. I mean, he's a racist, let alone the grooming of the countless videos of him literally grooming children in front of their parents.
How did that all get swept off? Like, nobody even talks about that anymore. Like, how'd that disappear from the headlines? That was all a big thing during the primary race for the seat. But then once he gets that nomination, all those stories just vanish from view. It's really
exactly.
Crazy.
And then you know what, you just mentioned it. Hillary was talking like, well, look at Trump's kids. It's like, okay, look at how troubled Joe Biden's son is. So, well, what makes someone so troubled? Maybe if they were abused as a kid. Now I'm making some very bold assumptions right now, but I mean, just look at the way that conversation kind of brought it out. It's just, I think it's safe to kind of assume. I don't know. He's clearly got some issues. He's deep into some bad drugs. I mean, we've seen what was on that laptop. We've seen, I've heard there's significantly worse things on that laptop that we don't know about yet.
We have OEN combing through all that information. They're going to be publishing it daily.
Oh my goodness,
it's going to be crazy.
Jack Posobiec keeps giving these morsels out, and I'm just like, oh, feed me.
Jack Posobiec's an amazing guy. I've met him so many times, and each time I've met him, he always remembers me. He's like, hey, what's going on, Chandler? It's nice to see you again. I see him, and he is everywhere too. I was just in Miami last weekend for Amp Fest, and I believe I saw him there. And then he was up in DC as well. I see him everywhere. Honestly, it's crazy where he goes.
That's cool. All right, so let's get into some super chats. I see a lot of super chats have gotten through, and I just want to get into them so we can kind of give ourselves some time to be able to talk about them.
Yeah.
Mr. Trainer Guy. Oh,
quick drink here.
Yeah, go ahead. Mr. Trainer Guy says World Doctors Alliance are representing over 35,000 doctors, nurses, etc., who are against lockdowns and looking into legal action against governments. Look into them. The experts are being censored. Wow. Is this the same people that came out a few months back that were saying hydroxychloroquine worked and that, it's ridiculous when taken with zinc and one other thing? It was like a really good preventative medicine. And then, of course, they got super censored and everyone was banning them everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if World Doctors Alliance is the same, but that's pretty crazy, representing 35,000 doctors. So, wow, I'll definitely look into that.
They always say, listen to the experts, but then when it's 35,000 doctors, of course, the ones that came out before and now that are all getting together for this lawsuit, you can't even have it. It's really hypocritical what they do.
It's listen to their experts, listen to their science,
listen to their truth.
Their truth. More importantly, you can just apply that on everything there. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Donald T said, where can I buy / download your songs? Well, my songs are not currently anywhere. I have plans. They are slow moving plans to record an album. And Chandler, you said that you're making music every day. You're writing and making new stuff. Do you have any place that people can buy and check out your songs?
So you'll be able to purchase all my songs on iTunes and then stream them on Apple Music, Spotify, all those streaming services. I'll probably get some CDs made as well because my dad's really into CDs. Shout out to him. He's watching right now. Of course, parents are really supportive. And then I'll also be posting, the audio files on my YouTube channel as well. So be sure to subscribe. And I'll also be posting snippets or early versions of my songs on Twitter and Instagram so you guys can see just the sort of process that goes behind making those songs. Because I think the true magic of making music is when you can show people the pure progress, show people where it started from, your original ideas, and then show how far you got and how you finally got to the polished product that came out. So you'll be able to find it all on all my social media. I'll be talking about it everywhere. And then I'll also be doing performances as well in a few months and all that great stuff. So just stay tuned.
I like that. And actually you're very, you are in Instagram a lot. You're constantly, is that your main focus, Instagram? I know I see you on
not at all.
No. Okay. Cause you're always
Twitter.
like, I got to go on Instagram Live. And every time I've seen but that makes sense. But I actually didn't add your handle. How do people find you on Instagram?
Oh, on Instagram, I'm just at Chandler.Crump. So that's CHA. Well, you can see it right there. So just, you can see
for those listening that aren't watching, go ahead, say it.
Yeah, at Chandler.Crump. That's CHANDLER.CRUMP. Like Trump, but with a C at the beginning.
Right on. All right, let's see. Mark Robershaw says Tom McDonald is so good, so many bars in his song. Do you know Tom McDonald?
I've heard of him, yeah.
Oh, you have to dig into his music. Just go to his channel and just click on random songs, or pick ones that look like you might want to hear, because he might be my favorite musician right now. That's not just rapper. Like he spits amazing words, but his musical talent is very, it's not traditional. It's very much this cool new musical rap hip hop, but it's not hip hop. It's like hip hop kind of vibe, but it's, I don't know. It's very much his own style. I just really like it. One of my favorite songs by him is Buttholes. You should go check that one out. I know it sounds funny. I know it's so good though. It's so funny. And the words that he talks about, like the stuff that he talks about, he's got one called White Boy. Politically Incorrect is another really incredible song. Just, dude, he drops some mic drop moments nonstop, calling people out. Dear Rappers is just like calling old rappers out for showing the wrong thing. They're having, like we talked about, like what a role model is. Like, the communities, different communities, they find role models in wherever they can find them. Sometimes they don't have a father figure, and when they find a father figure that happens to be maybe their favorite artist that's rapping about doing drugs and drinking and objectifying women, then that's what they look to. That's what they think is cool, and then that's what they end up doing. And that's, he's calling out all these people. So, man, shout out to Tom McDonald, because that guy is a beast.
Well, we'll see if he's still your favorite artist after I come out.
Ooh, I love that. That's what I'm talking. That's the attitude right there that you need, Chandler. I really appreciate that. All right, let's keep it moving. Mark Robershaw again says, anyone who endorses Biden is fake, totally fake. I don't know if it's fake. These people really do believe that they are the virtuous on the virtue side of things. That's why I hesitate on making fun of Biden supporters. People make fun of Trump supporters all day long. I'm not making fun of Biden supporters. I'm making fun of Biden. Not even making fun of him. I'm calling him out for being a dirtbag and different racist. And it's like, I don't think if you're voting for Biden that you're a racist and you're a dirtbag and like to groom kids. That's not what I'm saying. I just think that most people have been spun up by the media, are spun up by their emotions, and they think that they're virtuous. They think that this is the virtuous movement. Like I see all these white people are like, yeah, Black Lives Matter. And it's like, do you understand? Like, even Oxford, they were like, yeah, Black Lives Matter. All right, by the way, Black Lives, you don't have to work as hard to get the same degree as everyone else, because this is a hard year for you. And it's like,
they know what they're doing when it comes to all these things. They are just teaching and setting that mindset within our culture that if you are a Black person, you do not have to work as hard. They're literally reinforcing all the stereotypes that they've been calling you racist for years, for
right.
Thinking about or saying as a joke or something like that. They are now reinforcing these things. There's a stereotype that Black people are lazy or something, and now you're out here saying, oh well, if you're a Black person or if you're a Mexican student or anything like that, we're going to automatically waive your grade up by 20 percentage points in comparison to every other race because you can't do it.
Yeah, that's demeaning.
Yes, and the whole reason they do it is because it's funny, because the whole reason they do it is because they on average perform less, because the same things that the Democrat Party did in the past are now affecting our students today, and now these same organizations that are funded by the Democrat Party are now making changes on behalf of these students. It's a cycle. It is a cycle, and every time I talk about it, I feel like a conspiracy theorist, because it's all plugging in together, and I feel like I'm on the verge of something crazy, and they're about to bust down my door and take me to thought prison, but. No, I hate to get too passionate about it, but yeah.
No, that passion is what is going to make your music a success. Your whatever political aspirations you have are going to be successful because you're confident, you're smart, you do your research, you're clearly knowledgeable about what's happening in this world around you. That's what we need. We need more people like you in this world, Chandler. That's what we need.
Thank you, Adam.
Definitely. All right, let's keep it moving. Mark Robershaw says, media clips that Trump talks down to Black kid. Wait, is that a thing? Do they do this or something? I haven't heard about that.
Talked down? Well, I mean, I'm shorter than him and he talked down to me. So you know what? Sure, maybe he did.
That's how they put it.
You want to be literal about it.
It's just a picture of him like looking down to you, talking to you.
No, like it's Terrence K. Williams. He's got his hands on his shoulders. They call Terrence K. Williams a black kid because he's shorter.
Oh my god,
that's terrible.
Terrence is hilarious, though.
Terrence, you got to get him on the show one day. He's amazing.
It's funny you should mention that. I straight up shamelessly just sent him a message. His DMs are open on Twitter. He doesn't follow me, so they're just open. And I was like, you know what? I would love to talk to him. Like he's proven, like he was from an orphanage all the way to the White House. That's the name of his book.
Yes, I saw that.
Gosh, like he's hilarious. He's vocal. He's successful. It's like he's another one that's proving all these people wrong. It's like, no, you're not oppressed. You just do work. You work hard. You have a goal in mind and you work towards it. It doesn't matter what race you are. You are your own oppressor, period.
Yes.
So I asked him to get on the show, and that would be fantastic.
Yeah. I might shoot him a text, or next time I see him, I'll tell him to hop on the show or something.
That would be, thank you very much. Yeah. Wow. That would be great.
Because he's great. He's funny. Now, let's move on. Let's keep going.
Yeah, sure. Joker just said, Adam, I think 50 Cent just endorsed Trump on Instagram. Is this real? I don't know if this is the case. That's interesting. Okay. How do you feel about celebrities endorsing politicians? Like, what's your thought on that?
I think it's worth paying attention to, but not worth changing your own beliefs over. Like, if I'm trying to, if You know,
Oh,
if
Cardi
Kamala,
B just interviewed Joe Biden. Oh man,
that's amazing. That's
I
cool. Let me turn the
uh,
channel. No,
yeah.
if Kamala Harris's favorite rapper Tupac came out to say I endorse Joe Biden from the grave, I mean, we already know he's gonna vote for him, but
Yeah.
if he came out to endorse him, it'd be like, okay, that's pretty cool. I always pay attention to, especially if they're a celebrity I care about. That's
Yeah.
the only linchpin. If they say, "Oh, I'm gonna endorse this person," you'd be like, okay, that's cool. You have no political representation, you have no political chops, so I'm not gonna base any of my opinions off of that. But hey, it's cool to hear. These
Yeah.
people these people earned their place in my mind. So yeah, I at least want to listen to them and hear what they have to say, but I'm not going to change myself for them. So that's kind of the ideology and mindset that I think we should have for them. If you care about the celebrity, then care about their opinion, but don't change yours for anything.
Man, Chandler, you are a smart cracker, man. You seriously just a smart cookie. Yeah, I'm sure people are gonna be like, "What? He called him a cracker?" It's like,
I was just about to say that, like, uh-oh.
Yeah, whatever.
And that's funny. That's funny because I always have these liberals in my DMs telling me I talk like a white person. How do you talk like a race? I don't understand.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
I don't speak with
talk like
the
a white
stereotypical accent or something. I've been hearing that for a while. I guess the only form of racism I think I ever really experienced in my life was being told by other kids, no matter what their race was, that I don't sound like I'm black or something like that. I'm like,
so there's
okay.
a stereotypes that people just keep adding, all these. It's just the worst, man. Everyone always thinks that they know who you are because of the color of your skin, because of the cover of the book, essentially. Oh, I don't even need to read the book. I already know what it's all about. I'm gonna put it back on the shelf and just
don't even got to read the synopsis. Just, hey, that book cover's blue. Well, I already know you.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, so because you're an articulate, smart young man, like suddenly you're not part of their race, their culture anymore. Like
they don't claim me.
Right. Again, this is the kind of thing. It's demeaning. It's the demeaning kind of a thing that people will just assume. And that's, I mean, Joe Biden, man, he came out and was like, oh man, we've got President Obama. He's the first articulate black man I've ever met. And it's like, what? Are you serious? That you've ever seen? Or I don't remember exactly what it is. It's like, my goodness, you clearly don't know the history of many of the prominent Black Americans that have made incredible movements in this. Martin Luther King, for example. You ever heard of him, Joe Biden? Like, what? Are you kidding me? Ridiculous. It's just like the fact that he thinks he truly, it's like,
I mean, in Joe Biden's eyes, Martin Luther King was one of the cockroaches jumping on his lap.
Oh gosh, that. See, you can keep bringing up these little things about different things Joe Biden has said, and they're cringy. All of them are just ridiculous. Just like,
how can this man be a dignified presidential candidate at this point when these are the things he is saying on the daily? On the daily.
Yep. Thomas Sowell, another one I could think of. I mean, Ben Carson. You said so the movie Uncle Tom. You've seen it, right?
I actually recorded a little bit for it.
Oh, right on. That's cool. Yeah, Ben Carson. They talk about he was the first not black man. They said he's the first doctor, period, to separate Siamese, like their brains. He separated their brains successfully, and they lived. That's incredible.
Those
not
are some
to mention
gifted hands right there.
He was an incredible man that he did some incredible work. I didn't even know that about him. And I was like, wow, my respect for Ben Carson just shot through the roof. Yeah. I didn't know he did that. That's incredible. Performed brain surgery, the first person to ever do it successfully, split two conjoined brains. Amazing. And I had no idea. And then, of course, Thomas Sowell is just incredible. I see chats talking about Thomas Sowell, and he's an incredible man too. At 90 years old and still an incredible thinker, genius, an American genius that we don't talk about. So I was offended when Biden said that stuff. All right, let's keep moving. Mm-hmm. All right. Mark says, an atom a day keeps the fake news away. Well, thank you, Mark. Thank you very much.
I love that.
Thanks. Mark Robershaw again says, let's review history. Who suppresses the truth? Yeah, that's right. It's the anti-fascists right now. That's who's trying to suppress the truth.
Anti-fascist, anti-racist. There's actually a senator, I believe his name was, I can't quite remember his name, but he said, sure, America will have fascism one day, and it'll be called anti-fascism. I'm paraphrasing there, but that was one of his quotes, and it's like very applicable. I'm trying to remember his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. I've got the idea of it, but that's what his quote really boiled down to was, sure, America will have fascism and we'll call it anti-fascism, and that's what it'll be. So sure, America has racism, and it's called anti-racism.
How long ago was that? Was it a long time ago?
Yeah, I think that was like the 40s or 50s. At least.
Okay. 7 years. Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Long time ago.
Many years ago.
Jeez.
Somebody in the chat probably knows the quote I'm talking about. I've mentioned it a few times. They called it.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if it was
Huey Long. Yes, it was Huey Long.
Huey Long? Is that it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Was that from chat to chat? Just
yeah, hip hop thinker. I love hip hop thinker. He's all in my comment sections every day on my Twitter as well.
Thank you, chat. Chat's the best. All right, let's see. Brock, thank you for becoming a member. Bing, 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 bing. Mark Robershaw again says Trump doesn't want to cancel his oppression. He wants to have a fair fight and beat them with his own power, his own ideas, his own two hands, not Wall Street. Absolutely. You know, all three of the moderators. The first moderator totally was on Trump or on Biden's side. Second moderator, it came out that's why they actually had to scrap the second debate, really, because the moderator was caught basically pitching the questions over. And then the next moderator for this week, she was caught in 2016 giving Hillary the questions. Yes. How is she allowed to be the moderator again? It doesn't make any sense.
Another thing about the second moderator is that I believe she was a former. It was a she, right? I don't remember. Okay, it was a he. He was a former intern for Biden, or no, really? A former intern for Clinton. I believe that's what it was.
Of course, of course. Yeah.
Also, do you ever show the super chats on screen?
I don't know. I mean, there's probably a way to do that.
Just click them.
I don't. Well, there's only one.
Oh, you're reading?
Chat I can see. I'm reading. Actually, I have two windows. I have the YouTube studio open, so I'm.
Oh, you're reading it through viewer activity.
Chats.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. Exactly. You got me.
No, I got it.
Tech guy over here. Tech guy. He gets it.
Well, I use StreamYard for my streams, and I can show them on screen when I get super chats. That's what I like to do.
Oh, right on, right on. Yeah, I should work on that. I'm clearly still out of the loop as far as getting my podcast in order.
Oh no, this is great already. You're doing great. I love the setup you got here. I love that mouse with the ball over there. Or am I looking at a mouse over there?
Where do you see it?
The left side of your desk.
Oh, this.
Yes. Is that a mouse?
Thing? No, this is actually. I just got this. I love it. It's It's the left-handed like gaming keyboard thing, and oh my goodness, it is a game changer, yo! Straight up game changer for anyone who knows those. They're really sweet. Let's see. Mark again says, "Who supports Biden? It's the elite trash." I mean,
best way to say it.
You said it. You said it, Mark. I was just reading the super chat. Mark again says, "Biden for resident. Time to retire. This is old, Joe." Man, Mark Robershaw is on
this
fire
This Mark guy's amazing. Tell him, hey, Mark, come check out my channel. Drop a couple super chats my way. I'm just kidding, but definitely be sure to subscribe, everybody.
Yeah.
Over on my side.
Seriously, go subscribe to this guy. He is an up and comer. This guy he's smart. He's in tune. He's got some music coming out now. You can check him out in the description below. Is his YouTube channel. Go check him. Go follow him. And you can also follow him on Instagram, Chandler.Crump. Follow him also on Instagram.
I have a year's worth of content on my YouTube channel that you can just go back through. And if you go from like the start where it is right now back to finish, you can watch my hair shrink, my face get younger. It's crazy. And if you go back to the beginning, it's just crazy what you see. So that's one of the best parts about getting in on it young is that people can literally watch me grow, both mentally, the way I speak, to physically as well. I've had a people, especially when I go to an event the second time in a row, it's like, oh my gosh, I saw you here last year and you were a little baby and now look at you.
Next you're gonna be like, hi, I'm Chandler Crump, welcome.
perhaps
maybe, I don't know. Right, Johnny Gonzalez says lawyers and greedy elites hold America hostage. Just a simple truth right there. It is lawyers too. Most politicians are lawyers, right? Isn't that the case?
A lot of them get expensive law degrees, and they pay off their student loan debt with your taxes.
Yep, good point. Donald T says, "Smash that like button, smash it." Wait, Chandler, I need you to do something. I'm gonna give you full go. I want you to just no. You can't do the whole. I got the Hulk hands. You're gonna have to wait until you actually get here. But I'm gonna give you the full screen, and I just want you to tell everyone to smash the like button.
I'm Chandler Crump, and I need you all to smash that like button right now for Adam Crigler.
Wow, that was. I'm gonna clip that. That is legit. That was like an endorsement for a smashing of the like button.
Oh no!
I love that.
What have I just done?
You heard it here, everybody. He's Chandler Crump. Smash that like button for me, not just because. Smash it for me. He could have said for him. Could have just said to smash it, but no, he said for me. So I'm gonna take it as a personal affront if you are not smashing the like button right now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not Obama talking to the Black Caucus in 2008 or 2012. Which is straight up the truth. He straight up said, if you don't vote for me, I'm going to take it as a personal affront to my race. Like, what? Of course, I heard that in the movie Uncle Tom. Great movie. All right. Have you know what I'm talking about, that part?
A little bit, yeah.
All right, let's see here. Tim Trainage says, Adam, I want to donate to Philip Anderson. Where? So So the Kickstarter, the GoFundMe that I started for Philip, I ended it because I passed the money to Philip this morning or this afternoon when I spoke to Philip. So it reached $28,000. It was to fix his teeth. I thought that it was enough to fix his teeth. I mean, I don't know if he wants to do more as far as fundraising for himself, but you know, the GoFundMe has ended, so I passed it over to him today. So I don't know if he's going to start something else. I know that we are trying to get him back onto social media, so we are attempting to do that. So of course, if you follow me on my socials, Adam Crigler at Twitter and Instagram. Usually Twitter is where I post my stuff, but I'm trying to get him back on. And if I do get back on, you'll know because I'll post about it. But thank you for that, Tim. Let's see. Charmed says 16 and smarter than many adults. I hope Chandler Crump is not an anomaly, and there are many smart young people yet to be heard. He gives me hope for the future. Thanks for having him. Yep.
It's the whole reason I do it, to inspire people right now that their fight is still worth something, and that in 20 years, everything you do right now will still be standing and ready to live in.
Dude, man, that's exactly what we need. We need you because you are showing the world this, showing hope for the younger generations. You know, a lot of talk, you say, what do you think about the younger generation right now, to like random people? Oh, they're lost. They're misguided. They're entitled. They have this idea in their head of what the younger generation is. And it's almost it's convincing them that that's the entire generation. Like we have got a whole lost generation. It's not the truth. We got people like this man right here. Chandler, you are proving to the world that all is not lost. Thank you, buddy.
Our infinite access to information has both blessed us and jaded us, so much so that we need to have a full reset. We need to really step out there and say, we have all this information and we're going to use it for the right cause. We're going to save this nation, and we're going to truly be something that we can be proud of and look back on ourselves when we're 90 years old and we're on our deathbeds. We can say we carry the torch for our fathers and our grandfathers and our parents, and we hope that our children and our grandchildren will continue to do the same, because right now is one of the most pivotal points in history, whether it was 2020 or just the 21st century in general, in which things have been changing so fast that our entire societal way of life has changed. And we have to adapt to that. We are the first generation of kids that were born in a time where there's been the internet and infinite access to everything you could ever want to know at any point in our lives. So we have to live life in a very different way. We really have to get over ourselves in a way. We have to get over the idea that we're the best. We have to come out there and say, we aren't the best, but we're going to make ourselves the best. We're going to do the best. We're going to, as Melania Trump says, be best.
That's amazing. Did you hear that, everybody? If you didn't hear that, if you just suddenly tuned in right now, go back 1 minute and listen to what Chandler just said, because this is amazing right here. This is what the world needs to hear, especially the younger generations. Yeah. All right, Mark Robershaw again says, I definitely recommend Tom McDonald. Thanks for that. Yeah, of course. Yeah, Tom McDonald, great musician. Fractal says, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but I just want to say Antifa is pro-fascist and anti-American terrorist organization. Hashtag vote Trump 2020. I will be, that's for sure. And I'm sure you would if you could vote, but soon enough.
Yeah.
You'll be voting for yourself. Mark Robershaw again says, way too many victimhood farmers these days. Good point. That's what it is. They want to blame others. It's easy to blame something else than to look at yourself and think about what you have to do, because that requires work. Work ethics are being lost. All this stuff is being lost. We got to bring it back. Wixter with a hefty super chat. Thank you so much. Says, God bless. Thank you very much. Thank you, Wixter.
Very profound.
Yeah. Simple, powerful. The Gray Gamers. What'd you say?
I said all you need.
Yep. The Gray Gamer says, what did you think of the Filthy Frank vegan video? I did watch it, Gray Gamers. I said I would. I watched it. It was obnoxious and kind of hard to watch because it went on for way too long, and it doesn't represent all vegans. I think it's I know some of those vegans that are like that, but they piss me off too. So I don't know. It was interesting. It has a lot of views. It's crazy. Ribs Exposed says, this kid is spitting fire right now. Thanks for bringing him on the show. Chandler, I'm going to second that right now. Thank you for joining me on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Very happy to be here. You're one of the best interviewers I've had in a long time. I had a great time.
Oh, thank you. I am very new at this.
You do a great job of giving me we bounce off of each other very well.
Well, you are always welcome on my show. Anytime you were like, yo, I got a new song, I'm coming out, like, can I come on the show and maybe, play it live, or, you want to talk about anything, honest, let me know. You just hit me up. You've got my number, so you can just hit me up.
Absolutely.
The seat's you're always welcome to join me in the studio too, if you ever get the chance. Absolutely. Yeah. Mark Robershaw again says, bacteria is life on Mars, but beating heart isn't life on Earth. Weird. That's a line directly from People So Stupid on one of Tom McDonald's newer songs. Really, it gets, just saying it now, it's in my head. It's stuck in my head. If you don't know that song, go check it out. It's really good. He says that's a dope line.
We spend billions of dollars to get onto Mars and scalpel the ground and see if we can find any bacteria, but we won't spend like a couple $1,000s to save a kid's life. Where are we?
Oh, this world that we're at. Hydra says, what do you think the future of Black Americans look like with the high rate of abortions?
Oh,
I mean,
I hate to hear it.
That whole the statistics on that are mind-boggling, like boggling. I was quoting. I'm too used to quoting Anchorman. That's why I went with the bottling part. But it's crazy to think about. Like, once I heard the statistics on that, it was shocking. I was like, and it's the Planned Parenthoods where they have these buildings set up. It's kind of it's crazy. I mean, there's a lot of things we need to restructure in this life, and the access to abortion and the ease of how people have abortions. Like, I don't want to talk about necessarily having an abortion per se, but it's as how easy it is. That's the problem. People are, oh, it's cool, I could just go get an abortion. Like, we need to take many steps back.
Culture.
Like, it used to, the liberal side of abortion used to be, in extreme cases, incest, rape, like, not just like whatever, anyone could go do it, so it's definitely a crazy. But then you think about the statistics of the Black Americans, and it's insane, the numbers. Kanye West openly talks about it, tweets out about it all the time. It's crazy.
They called Kanye West crazy for crying at the notion of him being aborted, and also crying at the notion that he nearly aborted one of his children. Why is that a crazy thing? It's something that I don't always get emotional. I don't nearly ever get emotional about politics, but when I hear about what happens to the Black community, it's really sad. If you look at the statistics across America, the Black community, especially in places like New York or other liberal cities, And I believe in New York, it is actually stagnant right now and will soon start to decrease because of the crazy things that are happening to us. We're being aborted before we're born. If we do make it out, we have no father, so we turn to the streets. In those streets, we get sent to prison, where that's all you're not even a member of society. Or if you don't get sent to prison, you get killed by another person who will get sent to prison for your killing. It's an infinite cycle of failure, death, and destruction within our race because of what has happened to outside. And it's a really sad thing to look at it and think about. There's a good possibility that my race will not be in America in 200, 300, 400 years because of all the things that are happening right now. They'll be in other places of the world, but all the terrible things that have happened in this nation because of what Democrats and the left wing has done to my race, it's a really saddening thing to think about.
Yeah, that's the systemic racism that they're talking about, that the Democrats are straight up openly saying, it's you, Democrats. It's your systems. It's the things that you've put forward. You created this, Democrats. It's your fault. And they want to blame it on everybody else. This victimhood blaming. They're just trying to blame everybody else while claiming to be these virtuous, knight in shining armor. It's like, no, you just want to maintain that power to continue everything that you've been building. Man, it's crazy. All right, we don't have too much time left, so I got to. I'm going to rip through these last super chats here. John Kerner says, "Hey Adam, I enjoyed your red pill journey and took a similar ride myself. Please shout out my best friend Justin C in LA. What's up? And tell him his vote counts even in a blue Cali. He's a lazy one. Look, I'm just going to say this: you're not just voting for a president. You're voting for the president. You're voting for the representatives that represent you, local governments, your governor." Every single vote counts. Sure, you might not win the presidential vote, but there might be enough people that can't stand Gavin Newsom and trying to replace him. Every single vote matters, no matter where you are, no matter if you are a Democrat or a Republican. I don't care which side. You must vote because it's so much bigger than the president. That's something that they keep trying to convince us. Whoa, it's only the president. It's like Mitch McConnell is doing a race right now. Are people even talking about it? Is it even a mainstream thing? No. Everyone is only talking about the presidential debate. It's like, okay, or the presidential election. When the president doesn't make all the laws, Congress does. House of Representatives do. So why aren't those on the forefront? It's almost, I would argue, it's almost more important to get the right senators because they're the ones writing the bills that the president looks at and goes, I veto or I accept. It's like the president is a check for the actual lawmakers, which is Congress. So it's way more important that we pay attention to that side of things as well. Like, not less important, but it's more important than it is right now. All right. Ian Hall says, if you buy an Apple product, let them catch up to Samsung. I don't know much about Samsung stuff, but Mark Robertshaw says, have you seen The Knowing, bro? That's numbers. I haven't, no. Christopher Heggie says, 1984 birthdays, talk about our generation. We are the Oregon Trail generation. Look it up. Oh, right on. Oz says, differences between Biden and Hillary is Hillary was both hated and more loved by voters. Biden doesn't drive the same strong emotion she does. Yeah, he doesn't drive anything. He's just sitting in a basement. Mark Robershaw says, sponsored by Apple. No, we are not. Hey, Miraculous Ladybug says, great guest and show tonight. Always love the format and good vibes your show is made up of. Thank you very much. Keep up the awesome work. Smash the like button and share. Thank you so much, Ladybug. Always appreciate your comments. Erica says, I don't need a cheap organization to tell me my life matters. Quote from this wonderful man right here. Love that bit. Great stream. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Sparky says, when Sally Yates was fired as interim AG, she replaced Chris Wray at Atlanta law firm King and Spalding when Wray replaced Jim Comey. Coincidence? No, there is no such thing anymore. I don't believe it. Roger P says, I'm an old boomer, native/white guy, old school rocker. I saw The Who, REO, Earth, Wind, and Fire live, but Chandler is inspiring me to try his music. Yes. Check out his channel below. It's in the description. You can check it out, and he's definitely going to be posting it up. Let's see. Tyler posted a link. I can't click it, but Adam, this is the doctor that is bringing a lawsuit. Is going to be in Germany and is at Nuremberg. Okay, I can't click on that, but I'll check it out later. Dean Badger says, amazing guest. You were right when you said in the past episode that he is smart and well informed as young as he is. Absolutely.
You mentioned me in a past episode.
I did. Well, I actually I did. Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, you left a mark. You are. I as I mentioned, we need younger people in politics. We need younger people paying attention, and you are the shining example of that. And thank you, Chandler. I really truly believe we need more people like you in the world. Awake Not Woke says hashtag Chandler for co-host. Got to have this guy on again for real. I'll second that motion. Shun says, I will be voting this week in person. Thank goodness for early in-person voting. Should do it more often. November 3rd is going to be quite the cluster. True. I can't wait to vote myself. Be Strong and Curdy says, born in 85, first-time voter, and now have role models that are younger than myself. Knowledge and wisdom has no age or color. It just is. Boom!
There you go.
That was a powerful super chat right there. And then we got Soy Silky says, you are amazing. Thank you so much. We are out of time. Chandler, I'm going to give you the camera real quick. Why don't you tell everyone how they can follow you, how they can keep following you on your path. Go ahead.
So thank you all so much for tuning in. Of course, like you guys know, my name is Chandler Crump. I'm a 16-year-old political commentator, YouTuber, and patriotic rapper. So you can find me out on YouTube. My name is just Chandler Crump on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter at RealCCrump, C-R-U-M-P. I'm also on Instagram at Chandler.Crump. You can check out my website, ChandlerCrump.com. Also check out my merchandise. I sell shirts that follow my branding of Virus of Intelligence, or VOI. And definitely be sure to follow all my stuff. So you can check out the Teespring as well. It's linked under all of my social media. And I hope to see you guys on this journey, because it's a long road ahead.
All right. Thank you, everybody. I unfortunately have to go, and Tim Cass is going live right now. He's got James O'Keefe on his channel right now.
He does.
And that is going to be a really cool episode. James O'Keefe, if you don't know, is Project Veritas. So I'm going to have to get out of here so you can all go check out the show. Thank you all for joining me. And Chandler, especially thanks to you. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time when you join me.
Absolutely.